All right, we are live. Sorry about the late start. I ran downstairs to grab water, and I had three little furry friends follow me back upstairs that wanted to play, and so I had to pull evasive maneuvers on the dogs. But yeah, we're live, Brad. How's your day?
How's my day? My day
Yeah.
was good. Like 30 minutes ago, I was running pick and roll with a Big Ten football legend, I would say. I think he was all conference back in his day. I'll look it up. Can you guess who it is? I'll give you some clues. I'll give
Can
you
can I guess which former Big Ten football player you were playing pickup basketball with in Chicago half hour ago?
half hour ago. Yeah. Wisconsin tight end.
Oh God, Fumagalli?
Yeah, he was Big Ten tight end of the year in 2017, and it was Troy Fumagalli. He's got a good jump shot
No
on him. We were running
way.
some good pick and roll. Yeah. Yeah, Jake Butt shows up every now and then. There's some competitive runs over there,
I,
some big
you're
bodies got to
not
deal with.
you're not impressed enough that I just pulled Troy Fumagalli out of
No, that's a good one. Like he probably is one of the more memorable Wisconsin tight ends.
he's the
So
only one I would have been able to guess. I got
no,
to be. But Pitt Hoosiers right in the chat. Hit the chat before we're even live. 25 more days until football season. Fall camp is in full swing. The title here, Indiana Hoosiers Live 41. Football is in the air. We're here, man. Pads are hitting pads. They got shoulder pads on now. They're out of the spiders. I don't even know what the. Do you know what spiders are, Brad?
spiders like the eight-legged arachnids.
So no, like there's like I guess my guess is that's what they call like the catapult thing, but
The
I
catapult
don't know.
thing. The
Do you know what
jugs
catapult
machine.
is? No.
You
Catapult is
talking
like the
football right
company.
now?
Yes, catapult is the if you've ever seen the players wear like black tight like things with the sensors in them.
Oh yeah, no, we never had those.
Actually, I have a buddy who works for Catapult, like is like an engineer or does something for them. And I asked him one time if you were able to use data to predict a breakout. He told me no. Whoa.
To predict like a breakout player based on the data.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's really just to make sure your whole team is up to par when it comes to the physical, like the basically just the measurables that you look for at the position. Obviously, at the end of the day, comes down to your ability to execute, know the playbook, things like that. But obviously, you want your team at a certain level physically, and that's kind of where the spiders come into play. I didn't know what they were
Yeah, but
called, but I
John's
know
right. It's
exactly
the
what you're talking about.
John's right. It's the black bra thing that they all wear, but
Yeah,
that's catapult. Like tracks like vitals and like it's good for like spotting injuries and seeing if people are like usual like physical output and all that good stuff. But no, we got. I mean, we could sit here and talk all day about BS, but man, there's a lot of football to talk about. We got 6 different pressers. I think we got 2 Signetti pressers. We got Fisher, Kamara, Pons, Farrell, Coogan. We got a ton of smoke to get to. I was getting into it a little bit with people on Twitter. Like it's just
we're getting
football's back.
closer and closer, and people are still talking about Indiana's schedule. It's pretty ridiculous. It's at a point where it's like, how about you watch some of the clips that they're putting out and just kind of notice how fast and physical they look, especially, that O-line, D-line clip they threw out today. Got me fired up. I
Yeah.
mean, we look so much faster. Obviously, they look big because they're trenches guys, but they look so much quicker than what they did last year. It's scary. Like everything we were hearing about that interior D-line, basically the D-line as a whole, I think it's coming to fruition. And obviously, it's iron sharpens iron. So Signetti said the O-line is the strongest position group. And, if that's the case, D-line looked like they were eating a good bit. So it looks like that's a pretty strong group as well.
Yeah, it's really strong, and I'm glad you went that way because I'm trying to find the exact comment, but I can't pull it up. But somebody asked us under a video, like one of the videos we posted last week, like, why do you guys think the D line's going to be better given the fact that they lost a guy like CJ West? And our response, or what my response was going to be, was going to start with a guy like Jose Wheeler, who is getting a lot of positive press this week from a lot of the guys. And it really starts with the guys like him, guys like Tyreek Tucker, guy like Dominique Ratcliffe. Landino's moving into the 3 tech. We got confirmation from that from Kamara today. You have Daly and Wyatt on the outside just that are going to wreak havoc, and Duke weighs another year older. Like you lost CJ West, but I think and this is like a lot to put on a player, but I think you replaced him with a better player in Jose Wheeler. I think that guy is really good at football. And I think Tyreek Tucker, and I love James Carpenter. James Carpenter was a walk-on. Like Tyreek Tucker is a more talented football player than James Carpenter too. And that's not to say that like I'm guaranteeing they're going to match production, because the production of those guys was, they were very productive, very good football players for a really long time. But the talent level took a step up on that defensive line this year. And the guys who were great last year for them, most of those guys are back, including Mikal Kamara, who's chasing 20 sacks.
Yeah, it's like they bring back their best player from that D-line group, and then collectively they're definitely replacing CJ West ad nauseum, really. I mean, we talk about Hosea Wheeler. That guy could go round 4 if he has a great season. Tucker was one of the high. Tucker and Ratcliffe are some of the highest graded nose tackles in the Big Ten. They have Landino and Ndukwe in the wings, and then not only do they replace Linnell Carr, they upgrade him twofold with Kellen Wyatt and Stephen Daly to, just basically bring more attention to that side of the ball, so we can get Kamara in one-on-one situations. Because if we're double teaming Kamara, Jose Wheeler, Tucker, Wyatt, Daly, those guys are going to eat. That's just how it's going to go, and it's just going to be really difficult for teams to game plan against, because you look at Wyatt, Daly, Kamara, pure pass rush. Wheeler and Tucker are pass rush guys, and all these guys are basically pass rush guys. And then based on the Haynes scheme, they're going to be able to stop the run like they did last year. They're one of the best run defenses in the country last year. And, Ohio State wasn't even able to really run the ball on us, which I thought was really impressive. Besides, obviously, that one, chunk play at the end, which made it not look as impressive. But, it's it's definitely an upgrade. I mean, yeah, we lost 2 NFL draft picks to this team, but, I've said this before, there's at least 7 on this roster right now. So it's...
Well, yeah, and you said, like, Wheeler could potentially go in the 4th round. Like, I'll just toss this out there. This was a note from Taylor tweeted this out from Bite Size Bison, from today's Bite Size Bison. He said Wheeler played 62% of his snaps in 2024 outside the B gap. That's 7th out of 286 qualified FBS defensive tackles. He's the 3rd largest defensive lineman on Indiana's roster this year. So just think about that athleticism at that size. Like I don't put self-imposed limitations anyway, but that he might end up being like the best player on that defensive line. Like, that might be crazy, but
West is just a completely different player than Wheeler too. I think that's something that needs to be said. Like West is he has pass rush ability, but I'd say his strength is definitely just eating O-linemen and opening up holes for Fisher and who was that other guy? Jalen Walker last year, allowing them to make plays and really just being an absolute run stuffer. And
J-Walk was the man. Freaks.
Yeah, I know. I'm blank. I'm so locked into this year where it's like I'm almost leaving 2024 behind. It's at that point. They're just completely different players, and I think collectively they definitely replaced him ad nauseum. Just considering Tucker's back, they bring in Ratcliffe and Wheeler. Landino's waiting in the wings. Like, basically, they only rolled with Tucker, West, Carp, and then at times Landino last year. It wasn't a whole lot of anyone else. So they got 4 legit guys they're gonna that could probably do 50 snaps a game and be very productive, which I think is really exciting, because they're not necessarily like Landino and Ratcliffe, I don't know, are necessarily going to play 50 snaps a game, but they're definitely going to play a ton.
It's the depth that we've just been hammering for weeks that is just different about this Indiana team. I want to hit a couple or 3 stat corrections before we jump into the rest of the smoke. In my excitement about the D'Angelo Pons Many Men edit, I called it Rosenthal Sports. It's Rosenhaus Sports, very prestigious, very well-known NFL agency. They rep a lot of really high-level players, so apologize to those guys. Ton of respect for what they do in that space, and obviously when an agent like that is representing a player like D'Angelo Pons, that tells you more than anything you need to know about how he's viewed in those NFL circles. So shout out to D'Lo, shout out to those guys.
It's just so confusing that he comes off a year where he's probably the best corner in the Big Ten that year. He comes back, and then all of a sudden he's ranked the 4th best corner in the Big Ten. It doesn't make any sense. He's being so disrespected right now. Like we talk about Coop getting disrespected all the time. I don't think we've talked enough about Pons getting disrespected. He is top 5 player in the Big Ten this year. I actually truly believe that top 5 players in the Big Ten are those 2 dogs at Ohio State, and then it's our 3 dogs on defense that we have. I think those are the top 5 best players in the Big Ten going into this year. Obviously, you can maybe throw a Drew Aller in there, but it's tough though. With quarterbacks, there's so much ebbs and flows with that position where it's really hard to be sustainable over time. So it's hard to put him top 5, but that's what I would go with my top 5. And a lot of people don't feel that way.
John says, Goom, a couple weeks ago, you asked what the standard for basketball should be. The way you feel right now about football is the standard for basketball. Oh, listen.
I'm a realist.
Season. I'm not like it's football season. Moving forward, Kaelon Black. We're gonna talk about people who are being slept on. A lot of people are sleeping on Kaelon Black. He was named to the Freaks list, Bruce Feldman's Freaks list, number 58. That came off the back of a 40-inch vert, 415 pounds on the bench, which Mikhail Kamara said he moved like butter, and a 500+ pound squat.
Ridiculous. The first ever non-Blake Thierry winner of Blake Thierry Freak of the Week goes to Kaelon
that's
Black
crazy.
Awesome for him.
Shout out to KB.
It's so funny because we talk about this running back room all the time. It's like, okay, we got Hemby dog, Lee Beebe dog. Is that going to be like Lawton and Ellison like it was last year, or is Black going to come into play? And then you have a guy like Black just kind of waiting in the wings, super disrespected with a 77 rating on NCAA. And crap, I need to break down the running back production real quick.
People forget KB, one-time Virginia Tech commit. If you listen to Sig talk about bringing him to James Madison, he's like stunned he ended up there in the first place. Like, they think the world of this kid, and he's a great leader, and he obviously puts the work in. Like, I'm super pumped for his year.
Yeah. So Elijah Green never really got legitimate like in-game carries last year, so I'm going to discount him. Black did it at times when he was healthy. So last year when Ellison 800, Lawton 600, and then Black came in at 250. So in terms of allocating that to this group, do we have potentially 3 guys that can get 500 yards on the ground this year? That's something I was thinking about today.
We have 3 guys.
Is that going to be to spread the wealth that we do this year? Like, I don't see it being a Hemby 1,000-yard year with the amount of talent that we have. It could be 3 guys getting 600 yards this year, 500 yards. Obviously, maybe leaning, in order, Hemby, Black. I don't even know. What it's going to end up. It's not even a question mark. Like, I know they're all going to be good. It's just the question mark in the sense, like, who is it going to be? I think it's like they were the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles last year. I'd say it's more so this year, where it's like it really is 3 RB1s that we have at our disposal, and that's just really off. That's awesome. Behind that, we don't have a ton of playing experience, but the top 3 is best in the league for sure. I mean, maybe Penn State probably has their third strings probably.
Penn State's got a really good room. Ohio State's got a really good room, but like they're up there though. These are the conversations. Oregon's probably got a great room, but
like they're right there with them, right?
These are the conversations that Indiana is now in it's driving people crazy, and that brings me to my next point: is the closer we get to the season. Oh, go ahead.
All 3 were leading rushers on a Division I team at a point in their career. All 3 of them. I don't know how many teams have something like that. Probably not many. Possibly 1.
It's a luxury that most people don't even realize we have.
Yeah.
But as we get closer to the season, the noise and energy from opposing fan bases is starting to ramp up. You'd think after an offseason of getting told that Indiana's irrelevant that nobody would care going into the start of this year, but like the people could not be more upset that Indiana football is good. I sent out a tweet basically saying that the notion that Indiana didn't play anybody last year is silly because they played the 2 best teams in the country, like down a man on the road. And people were like, "Oh, this guy's flexing wins and what happened, or flexing losses, and like what happened in those games." Blah, 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 blah. Like, people must
such a double standard because people flex losses all the time. It's literally what the
I'm not flexing the losses. That wasn't even the point. Like people, like
I know.
The point of that was like people were saying that Indiana like played nobody. They only played cupcakes. And the fact of the matter is, they went into the two of the hardest environments in college football and got real game experience and honestly got their teeth kicked in a little bit. But like
they probably needed it.
That's what I'm saying. Like the fact that you don't think that translated to making these guys better. Like you have Aiden Fisher, D'Angelo Pons, Mikhail Kamara, 3 All-Americans who were experiencing these things for the first time. Like Carter Smith, who wasn't experiencing these things for the first time because he was at Indiana. But it's like you don't think these guys banked all of that information and tried to get better and learn from that? Like that's crazy to me. So like to say that you need to like throw out any of the experience from this Indiana team from last year because they didn't win those games is silly. And that was the point I was trying to make, is like these guys are coming in with a lot of big game experience. Like these aren't just power, like outside the power four, like Sunbelt football players anymore. Like these dudes have Big Ten battle scars. Like they're going to be more ready for these moments than they were last year. And that's going to matter.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
Let's get to the coaches poll. Scott Bandy says there's no way that there are five teams better than the Hoosiers in the Big Ten. I agree with that. That's not what the coaches poll says, though. The coaches poll dropped yesterday, and obviously that's what everybody's going to cling to until we actually get real football. And so this is where all the misconceptions for this season are going to be based off of, is like, where did the team rank in the preseason? When in reality, who knows where any of these teams rank, right?
Exactly. If I had to do it, I've said this before. If I had to do preseason rankings, I would just take the rankings from end of year, the previous year, and just make that the week one ranking. I think that would be like the most non-biased way to do it. To be honest.
all 12 playoff teams from last year were ranked this year.
Yeah, deservedly so, as they should be. They're playoff teams. To be honest, Tennessee being above us irked me a little bit. I'm just like, all right.
They don't even have a quarterback. Like, what are we talking about? That's what I'm saying. These are Ole Miss in front of us, like the most undisciplined team in the country. Like, they're like, no, actually,
I can hear out any other argument of the teams in front of us besides Tennessee. Like, I'll hear it out. Tennessee, I just won't hear it. I won't.
Of the 6 Big Ten teams that were ranked, I was a little surprised Ohio State nudged out Penn State, but you give it to the champs, I guess. Ohio State was 2, Penn State was 3, Oregon was 7, Illinois 12. So I don't want to hear it about Indiana's schedule anymore. They play 3, 7, and 12, and they played 3 and 7 on the road. Michigan was 14. A lot of love for Bryce Underwood, or at least for the rest of that roster. So we'll see how he's able to play. Michigan and Notre Dame are kind of in the same spot. I know that's not the goal to talk about those teams, but like if those 2 freshman quarterbacks hit, those are 2 like loaded rosters. If those 2 freshman quarterbacks play like freshmen, then
yeah,
I don't know. And then Indiana at 19.
Michigan was unranked, correct?
No, Michigan was when? To end the year last year?
Coaches poll.
No, they were 14.
Okay. Must have missed that.
And Indiana was 19. And then Iowa just missed out.
Yeah. Indiana played 2 preseason top 10 teams last year, Ohio State and Michigan. Same thing this year. They do get the extra Illinois game because they didn't play any other preseason top 25 teams in their schedule, which is the reality. Not saying the schedule is weak. We still played Washington, Nebraska. Like, I wholeheartely think, like, I think people don't give. It's like someone has to go 8-4. Someone has to go 7-5. It doesn't make them a bad team. I truly believe that. Like, conferences eat themselves. I thought there was great ball being played in the Pac-12, but it was so competitive top to bottom to where Washington State could sneak up on a ranked Arizona and beat them every once in a while. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, Arizona wasn't that good. It's like, no, they have Mike Leach who runs spread and they're really hard to guard. They're just really hard to game plan for. And these things happen. And I think people just don't give enough credit to like playing the Washingtons, playing the Nebraskas, playing the USCs, playing the even the Wisconsins and the Iowas and the Minnesotas. Like there's a ton of good teams in like they're just consistently like good, well coached. Like maybe this isn't Minnesota's like glory year, but they're still gonna go 7-5. They're gonna row the boat. They're gonna bring it every day. They're not a team that you can just kind of, oh yeah, it's just Minnesota. Like no, that's not how it goes. There's no weeks off in the Big Ten. There isn't.
Completely agree with that. Pitt Hoosier says AP poll drops next Monday. Great. We get to react the same way again. Do you know who McCoy is that Fat Boy's referencing in the...
Is that Brew McCoy? He's still playing football? That's insane.
There's no way it's Brew McCoy, dude.
McCoy's still playing? Well, clearly not anymore.
Yeah, Michigan higher than us with a freshman quarterback. Yeah, there's a lot of...
He's talking about cornerback Jermon McCoy. That's what he's talking about.
That's not great. I know they ended up with
5-star flop. You know, he's one of those 5-stars where it's like, okay, he's a grown man playing high school football, so it's like, yeah, he's a 5-star. There's so many guys like that. Like,
yeah, the All-American corner.
That's not
that's not a good injury at all. I know Colton Hood just ended up over there, so hopefully he's able to help out. But
yeah, they have Hood and Ricky Gibson still, so they'll be all right.
And then Nebraska was 5-1 when we played them, 26th in the country and 25th in the coaches poll. But like, we kicked the shit out of Nebraska. Nobody wants to give them credit for being a semi-decent team, so it's like that's okay. Part of me gets
it's because they
frustrated.
lost to Indiana 56-7, so it's like the brain just moves it to like, oh, they suck. Like you can't.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, when you lose to anyone to 56-7, that is kind of the conclusion you can make. Like they lost to Ohio State that way. By the way, people forget they only lost to Ohio State by a touchdown literally the following week.
At Ohio State.
Yeah.